Peter here again from Discovery Adventures and Caravanning. This is part 2 of the Truma Aventa Compact Plus air conditioning clean. As you can see, we've stripped it all out for cleaning. The unit, it was quite dirty up inside here. I'm just going to get a torch and just show you inside. So just in this centre part here, that's the temperature thermostat for the air conditioning. It controls it, that little section there. Up here, when you come around this side, is the fan section. I don't know if you can see it there or not quite. Come around a bit more. There we go, there's the fan. Up here is the vents that go through to the vanes for the air conditioning unit. I've cleaned those up a bit because they were actually clogged with dust and dirt. You've got to be very careful doing that. I did it with a wet toothbrush and just very gently run down the vanes. You don't want to risk damaging the vanes or the air conditioning circuitry, otherwise you'll lose all your gas. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing that unless yours is really clogged. As I say, I'm not a caravan mechanic or technician for caravans. I'm just an average person just cleaning my caravan out. So I don't know if you can see all those vents up there. Just about see them. Anyway, that all done. We've cleaned it all up, and I'm now going to start to refit the inner housing of the air conditioning unit. So once you've got your housing to go back in, just be careful. There is a front and a back, and just there it does actually say front, so you've got to make sure that's facing the front of the unit. So what we're going to do now is lift this up, and I'm going to plug that one back in and try not to drop it. Now, I don't know which way is this going. One way. Just going to try this a minute. Just try and find out which way around this went when I took it out now. Just seems a bit stiff going in on there. That seems to be it. Seems to be only one way that will actually fit. That seems to be in there solid. So what I'm going to do now is just offer this up to the lugs here on the sides and the holes in the bottom here, making sure I'm not trapping any of the wiring. And let's just get a couple of the Allen key bolts and just get the first ones in a couple of turns. Just going to grab my Allen key. Something's catching there, just make sure nothing's in the wrong place. Oh, that's what I've got to do. I'm going to make sure that you line up this with that. That's what's stopping me going in there. So try and get that in the best I can. Just feel until it feels like it's going in. That's it. You'll know when it's gone in. That just drops straight in then. So don't force it, just wriggle it around until you feel it suddenly go. So I'm just going to put a couple of these in loosely. Again, just aligning it with the studs coming down out of the plate. I dropped one of my screws somewhere, which I've got to go and find in a moment. Again, I'm not tightening these right up yet until I've got all the screws in. I'm just sort of nicking them up for a moment, just so they're all aligned. Again, be careful not to cross thread these. That one's not going in very well, it's not quite aligned. There we go, that one's going in. I've got one more that I dropped on the floor here. Right, what I'm going to start doing now is nicking these up now. Again, they were quite tight to get out and they're quite tight to go back in. And if my Allen key was just a little bit longer to clear there a bit more, make it easier just spinning these. I'm not going to over tighten these just until they nick up. Again, just nicked up the middle one first. A little bit fiddly with the short end of the Allen key. You've got to be careful because this light section only just sort of sits in there, it just hangs in little clips. I actually took that out to clean it, but until it's all back together it doesn't seem to be a very good tight fit, and it was like that when I took it out. So I don't know really, they could do with the clips being a little bit further up so it snaps in tight rather than hanging down. Actually it's, you know, maybe there and there with bulbs in, and the light transfers through the clear silicone, and that's what gives you the light in it. Right, just nicked up. Now the last one. You know, if you've got the same air conditioning unit, is this section, lighting section, loose on yours? Is it just solely when you clip it on that holds it tight? Be interesting to hear from you. Right. Just going to marry this up, make sure I've got the right sides. That's the back, so that's the other side. That lines up. So what we do now is going to wash these in a little bit of soapy water and bleach. You've got to be very, very careful because they are quite fragile, especially when they're wet. And then we just line this up. Just get it lined up with the lugs. Just push it forwards gently, and then this is where you've got to be careful that you don't damage this section, because it's got to just tuck in under there a little tiny bit as you do it, and then just push forwards. That's it, that one's in place. We'll do the same with the other one. They just sit in there. So again, we'll line it up with the lugs. Just gently slide that on until it just starts to touch, and then just gently ease the top of that in, and then push forwards, and that's it. That's the filters back in. Now what I'm going to do is realign these vents I got here just to the position I like them in. They're not as clean as I would have liked, but I didn't want to get everything too wet. Put it around like so, move that one across, and I'll do the same with the back ones. Again, we've washed them all off. Decided to use antibacterial wipes to clean all the inside. You all saw in part 1 how dirty it was inside, and that's just from 3 years of being away a lot in the caravan in dusty conditions with 2 long coated dogs. And although we keep the caravan spotlessly clean, and we're always hoovering it while we're away, and we've got the air filter on, it's surprising how much dirt gets back up inside there. So that's basically it. If you've got the Truma air conditioning unit, make sure you clean the filters regularly, and then from now on I think I'm going to once a year strip this down and just clean it all out. Now that that brown strip's in, those lighting strips are now tight in there. So that's good. Right, I haven't got mains connected up here at the moment, so I can't put it on just yet, but that's basically it. If you found this video helpful, please comment and comment on why you found it helpful. Is there anything else that you might want to ask about it? Again, I'm not an engineer or anything, I'm just an everyday person, and it's just going by experience of stripping them down and seeing what they're like inside. As I say, just be careful of aligning that centre bezel where the air exchange is and those electrical connections when you're putting it all back together. Fit your 6 Allen screws loosely so that you're not tightening one side up and then cross threading and putting them in. And again, don't over tighten them, just nick them up tight. If you find they start to come loose, then I'll put a little tiny bit of thread lock on them in the future. Anyway, that's Peter from Discovery Adventures and Caravanning, and cheerio.